Listen carefully, because this truth will hurt more than failure ever could. The world doesn't care how badly you want your dreams. The world only respects the strength you build to protect them. There was a time when you believed effort alone was enough. You believed being kind, working hard, staying patient would eventually bring success. But reality hits differently. Reality doesn't reward potential. Reality rewards transformation. And one day, you realize something terrifying. You are not as strong as you thought you were. You tried to keep up with people moving faster than you. You tried to match expectations heavier than your confidence. You tried to silence the voice inside your head, screaming that you are falling behind. And that voice is cruel. It reminds you of every failure, every missed opportunity, every moment you froze instead of fighting back. It whispers, "You're not ready. You're not talented enough. You're not built for greatness." And the worst part, sometimes you believed it. You watched others succeed effortlessly while you struggled to even begin. You saw people born with advantages you could never control. You saw dreams that felt possible for everyone else, but impossible for you. And slowly, doubt becomes heavier than fear. You start comparing timelines. You start measuring your worth through someone else's progress. You start questioning if your dream was ever realistic. But here is the brutal truth nobody teaches you. Heroes are not created by talent. Heroes are created by moments where they feel completely powerless and decide to move forward anyway. Powerlessness is not the end of your journey. Powerlessness is the beginning of your real training. Because when you are strong from the start, you never learn how to rebuild yourself after destruction. But when you begin weak, every small victory rewires your identity. You start understanding struggle differently. You learn patience while everyone else chases shortcuts. You learn endurance while others quit early. You learn emotional control while others collapse under pressure. And weakness teaches something strength never can. It teaches humility. You stop chasing applause. You stop chasing validation. You start chasing improvement. And improvement is slow, painfully slow. There will be days when you give everything and see no results. There will be nights when exhaustion feels stronger than your motivation. There will be moments when you question if progress is even happening. That is where most dreams die. Not because people lack ability, but because they cannot survive slow growth. Slow growth feels invisible. Slow growth feels frustrating. Slow growth feels unfair. But slow growth builds unbreakable foundations. And you will face moments where life forces you to choose comfort or evolution. Comfort tells you to rest. Comfort tells you to wait. Comfort tells you you've suffered enough. But evolution whispers something different. Evolution whispers, you haven't even discovered your real strength yet. And evolution is terrifying, because evolving means letting go of the version of yourself that feels safe. It means accepting pain as a teacher, not an enemy. It means stepping into challenges knowing failure is still possible. It means fighting battles before you feel ready. You will feel fear, not small fear. The kind of fear that tightens your chest. The kind of fear that makes your hands shake. The kind of fear that convinces you to stay average because average feels safer than risking humiliation. But fear hides an important truth. Fear only appears when something meaningful is at stake. You are not afraid of things that don't matter to you. You are afraid because your dream matters deeply. Because your purpose feels personal. Because your soul recognizes the potential you are still too scared to accept. And there will come a moment, a defining moment, a moment when life places you in front of a challenge so overwhelming, you know there is no guarantee you will win. You will feel weak. You will feel underprepared. You will feel like you are standing in a battle meant for someone stronger. And in that moment, your mind will beg you to step back. Your mind will scream logic. Your mind will remind you of your limitations. Your mind will try to protect you from possible failure. But your heart will say something dangerous. Your heart will say, if not now, then when? Because deep inside, you already know something. You know waiting will not make you stronger. You know comfort will not make you braver. You know hesitation will slowly erase the dream you once protected with passion. And this is the moment where heroes are born. Not when they feel powerful, but when they accept they are powerless and still choose to stand. Because standing while afraid creates courage. Standing while doubting creates belief. Standing while weak creates strength that cannot be borrowed, only earned. And that first step forward will feel impossible. Your body will resist. Your mind will scream. Your confidence will disappear. But if you move anyway, something extraordinary happens. You prove to yourself that fear does not control your destiny. And once you break fear one time, fear never feels as powerful again. Your journey will not suddenly become easy. Struggles will not magically disappear. Pain will not stop visiting your life. But your identity will change. You will stop asking, am I strong enough? You will start asking, how strong am I willing to become? And that question will begin reshaping your entire future. Because willingness to grow is more powerful than natural talent. Willingness to suffer for improvement is more rare than intelligence. Willingness to stand alone for your dream is more heroic than instant success. And one day, while walking through struggles nobody else notices, while fighting battles nobody else understands, while pushing forward when quitting feels peaceful, you will realize something terrifying. You are slowly becoming the person your younger self prayed to become. But here is the question that decides everything. When life gives you the chance to step forward into your destiny, even while you feel unready, even while fear is screaming inside your chest, will you stay safe in the comfort of doubt? Or will you risk everything to prove that even someone who started powerless can become unstoppable? When responsibility becomes your true power, strength is not born when life is easy. Strength is born the moment you realize someone is silently depending on you. Not always family, not always friends. Sometimes it is the younger version of yourself that refuses to disappear. There comes a phase in life where dreaming is no longer enough, where wishing, hoping, imagining success starts feeling empty. Because reality begins asking something dangerous. What are you willing to sacrifice to protect that dream? And sacrifice is where most people step back, because sacrifice is painful. Sacrifice is lonely. Sacrifice demands that you give effort even when rewards are invisible. You will watch others enjoying life while you are grinding alone. You will see people celebrating while you are still building foundations. You will feel the weight of responsibility crushing your comfort. And your mind will start negotiating with you. Take a break. Maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe you deserve an easier life. That voice sounds logical. That voice sounds comforting. But comfort is dangerous when you are chasing greatness. Comfort slowly steals urgency. Comfort convinces you that time is unlimited. Comfort convinces you that tomorrow will always exist. But tomorrow is fragile. Dreams don't die because of failure. Dreams die because of delay. Every time you choose procrastination, you are not resting. You are slowly teaching yourself that your dream is optional. And optional dreams never become reality. There will be mornings when you wake up exhausted, not physically, but mentally drained. Mornings where your goals feel heavier than your motivation. Mornings where you question if all this effort will ever matter. And those mornings will test your discipline brutally. Because motivation is emotional. Discipline is identity. Motivation appears when you feel inspired. Discipline appears when you feel empty. And true growth begins when discipline replaces excitement. There will be days when you feel invisible. Days when your hard work receives zero appreciation. Days when your progress feels too small to celebrate. That is where your mind becomes your biggest enemy. Your mind will compare you to people who started ahead of you. Your mind will remind you of your slow progress. Your mind will create illusions that you are wasting your life. But comparison is poison disguised as motivation. You don't know their battles. You don't know their struggles. You don't know the price they paid or the shortcuts they took. Your journey is built for your evolution, not for competition. And growth built through comparison always collapses under pressure, because borrowed inspiration disappears quickly, but self-built purpose never fades. There will be moments when your environment discourages you. People might doubt your abilities. People might laugh at your ambition. People might remind you of your past failures like they define your future. And rejection hurts deeply. Rejection makes you question your worth. Rejection makes you question your identity. Rejection makes you feel like your dream is unrealistic. But rejection is not proof you are incapable. Rejection is proof that your path is uncommon. Uncommon paths are always misunderstood in the beginning. Nobody supports transformation they cannot predict. And here is the painful truth. The more different your dream is, the more alone your journey will feel. Loneliness will test your emotional endurance. Loneliness will test your self-belief. Loneliness will force you to become your own supporter. There will be nights when you wish someone understood your struggles. Nights when you wish someone noticed your silent efforts. Nights when you wish someone reminded you that you're improving. But sometimes, growth demands isolation, because isolation removes distractions. Isolation removes validation addiction. Isolation forces you to confront your real thoughts, and your thoughts can be brutal. They will remind you of your worst fears. They will replay your failures repeatedly. They will create imaginary outcomes where you lose everything. And anxiety will try to paralyze your movement. It will make you overthink decisions. It will make you doubt opportunities. It will make you hesitate when action is necessary. But anxiety hides an important lesson. Anxiety appears when your mind is focusing on results instead of effort. You cannot control results. You cannot control outcomes. You cannot control how fast success arrives. But you control effort. You control persistence. You control how many times you stand back up. And standing back up is the real measurement of strength. Not how fast you win, but how long you continue fighting after losing. There will be phases where life knocks you down repeatedly. Failure after failure, disappointment after disappointment, and exhaustion will whisper, maybe this isn't your destiny. That whisper is dangerous because it sounds realistic. It sounds protective. It sounds like acceptance. But acceptance becomes surrender when it kills your potential. You were not meant to live a life where fear decides your limits. You were not meant to carry dreams you never attempt to protect. There is a version of you waiting in the future. A version built through struggles you haven't faced yet. a version shaped by sacrifices you are still afraid to make. And that version is watching your decisions right now, watching how you respond to pressure, watching how you react to failure, watching whether you choose excuses or evolution. Because transformation is not building comfort zones. Transformation is built in moments where you feel like quitting, but continue anyway. And every time you continue while exhausted, you rewrite your identity. You stop becoming someone who wishes for change. You start becoming someone who creates change. Your confidence will not appear suddenly. Confidence is built through surviving struggles repeatedly. Every challenge you survive becomes evidence that you are stronger than your doubts. Every sacrifice you make becomes proof that your dream matters to you. Every lonely night you survive becomes emotional armor against future pain. And slowly, you stop chasing motivation videos. You stop chasing external validation. You start becoming your own inspiration. But here is the moment that will test your evolution completely. There will come a day when life demands everything from you. Your energy, your patience, your courage, your belief. A moment where quitting would feel peaceful. A moment where surrender would feel logical. And in that exact moment, will you collapse under pressure? Or will you rise and prove that responsibility doesn't break you? It transforms you into someone unstoppable. There comes a final stage in every warrior's journey. Not a stage of victory, not a stage of celebration, but a stage of realization. A realization that no one is coming to save you. No mentor will appear at the perfect moment. No miracle will erase your struggles. No sudden opportunity will carry you to greatness. There will only be you, standing in front of your fears, standing in front of your past failures, standing in front of the version of yourself you are terrified to confront. Because the truth is brutal. Most people are not defeated by enemies. Most people are defeated by hesitation. Hesitation slowly destroys dreams. Hesitation slowly weakens confidence. Hesitation slowly convinces you that waiting is safer than fighting. And while you hesitate, time keeps moving without mercy. Time does not care about your excuses. Time does not care about your comfort. Time does not pause so you can feel ready. Time only rewards those who move forward while feeling unprepared. There will be a moment when life corners you emotionally. A moment where you feel exhausted, broken, invisible. A moment where your progress feels meaningless. A moment where your sacrifices feel unnoticed. A moment where your efforts feel like they are disappearing into silence. And in that moment, your mind will give you two choices: return to comfort, or walk into pain with purpose. Comfort will promise peace. Pain will promise growth. Comfort will protect your present. Pain will build your future. Most people choose comfort because it feels safe. But safety is the most dangerous prison. Safety keeps you average. Safety keeps you dependent. Safety keeps you living a life designed by fear instead of ambition. Greatness demands something terrifying. It demands identity transformation. You cannot reach extraordinary goals while holding ordinary habits. You cannot build an unstoppable mindset while protecting fragile emotions. There will be days where your heart feels heavy with doubt. Days where your confidence disappears completely. Days where your motivation dies silently. And that is where legends are separated from spectators. Because legends don't rely on emotions. Legends rely on decisions. They decide to continue even when belief feels weak. They decide to move even when energy feels empty. They decide to rise even when life keeps pushing them down. Every time you continue while broken, You build a version of yourself that pain cannot control. Every time you fight when quitting feels easier, you create discipline that fear cannot destroy. And discipline is terrifyingly powerful, because discipline does not ask for permission. Discipline does not wait for motivation. Discipline does not collapse under pressure. Discipline simply moves forward, no matter how dark the path becomes. There will be nights when you feel completely alone with your struggles. Nights when silence feels heavier than noise. Nights when you question whether all this suffering has meaning. And loneliness will try to convince you that you are losing. But loneliness is not proof of failure. Loneliness is proof that you are evolving beyond environments that cannot understand your transformation. Growth is painful because it separates you from comfort. Growth is painful because it forces you to leave old identities behind. Growth is painful because it demands sacrifices that nobody celebrates. But pain has a secret purpose. Pain is the fire that removes weakness from your mindset. Without pain, discipline never develops. Without struggle, resilience never forms. Without failure, confidence remains fragile. The strongest individuals are not born fearless. They become fearless after surviving fears repeatedly. And here is the moment where your story reaches its turning point. There will come a day where your past self and your future self will collide emotionally. Your past self will remind you of every failure, every mistake, every time you felt worthless. Your future self will show you what is possible if you refuse to surrender now. And you will stand between those two identities. One built by fear, one built by courage, one begging you to quit, one begging you to fight. And the decision you make in that moment will define your entire life. Not society, not luck, not talent, your decision. Because destiny is not written by opportunities. Destiny is written by reactions to adversity. Every scar you carry is evidence that you survived something meant to destroy you. Every struggle you face is preparation for a responsibility your current mindset cannot handle yet. You are not being punished by difficulty. You are being prepared by it. But preparation only matters if you refuse to give up before transformation completes. There will be a final battle inside your mind. A battle between exhaustion and determination. A battle between fear and purpose. A battle between surrender and survival. And the outcome of that battle will decide who you become. Because life does not remember how many times you felt broken. Life remembers how many times you stood back up while bleeding emotionally. So when the world ignores your effort, keep working. When progress feels slow, keep building. When doubt screams inside your head, keep moving forward. Because one day, the same struggles that made you cry in silence will become the story that inspires someone else to survive their darkness. But before that story is written, before that victory exists, before that transformation becomes visible, you must answer one brutal question honestly. When life takes everything from you, when motivation disappears, when support vanishes, when failure surrounds you from every direction, and the only thing left is your will to continue, will you become another dream that died in silence? Or will you become the storm that refused to break, no matter how hard life tried to destroy you?